Sure, you can endeavor to follow all these different pursuits and paths of your own free will and choice, presumably. Uh, Try to make something of yourself and try to make a great name and try to gratify all your physical wants and needs and desires, and you can accumulate possessions and earthly materials and goods, and you can achieve fame and notoriety, but in the end, what's it all worth? Because in God's eyes, it's just rubble, wood, and hay, ready to be burned up on at the great white throne judgment. So anything that is pursued for self, for empty conceit and vanity, as the great Solomon once said, Book of Ecclesiastes. The Apostle Paul said, what we deemed as worthy here on earth during our times of trial before the eternal existence, that while we're here in our bodies, that all those things that we did and wanted and yearned for, and whether some of it was for God or whether some of it was for the flesh, for the earth, for the temporal, it's going to be weighed in the balances. It's going to be put on scales. You're going to have the wood, hay, and stubble on one side of the scale, and you're going to have the, charitable things and the things I did for God on the other side of the scales. And it's going to be weighed. Similar to the way that the Egyptians believed as far as how they were going to be judged. They were going to be judged, their hearts were going to be weighed against a feather. And if it wasn't as light as a feather, lighter than a feather, they would be condemned in the underworld, in hell. So they had to confess all their sins and renounce all their sins and come clean before God, before meeting God. And they would, of course, resort to sorcery and magic to help them through these various stages of judgment in order to approach God. The Christian Judeo belief is you don't go through all these different phases and series of. It's not a progressive thing. It's instance. It's an instant judgment. Once to die is the judgment, says the Apostle Paul. There is no intermediary period. It's instant. You're gonna see God like right then and there, as soon as the body is deceased. The spirit will come before God. Your spirit will come before God, and God's gonna have the last word, whether you lived for Him or for yourself or for the devil. It's very important, very serious, not very serious matter.